Tonight, on a very special edition of Build the Ghostbusters Ecto-1, we will be building a Proton Pack. This is special issue number 1, came with Proton Pack kits. In fact, it came with 4 of them. This is one tray. It also came with a Ghost Trap kit. We'll do that next week to keep things moving. I'm only going to make you watch me build one of these guys because the other 3 will be literally identical. It's 4 of the same tray. So, yeah, I don't think this is going to take terribly long. I'm not entirely certain, though, because there are a bunch of little colored wire bits in here to make up the various hoses on here. And that may take me a little bit longer, but we'll see. I don't think it's going to be too bad. I'm going to leave things in the tray as much as possible while I'm building this, trying to keep the different pieces sorted out. So, the first thing we do is we take this beautifully detailed main body. Look at that. That text is hard to read, but it is, I think, real text. It's not gibberish. I'm not sure if you can get that on the screen, but that is real print. So I'm going to take that, and we are going to put the cross piece on it. And again, very tiny little detailed label, but there's definitely a right side up. That one's a little more just kind of blurry text, I think, because of the printing metallic. But that's going to fit on across the cyclotron at the bottom, the particle accelerator element, and that's going to get secured on the back with an HP screw. In this kit, we do have both HP and EP screws. This just secures through a hole in the center. And I think that looks pretty nice right away. So we put that aside for a moment. We turn our attention to what they are calling the ion arm. I believe we start actually with this side of it. So we've got this guy, a little bit of bent plastic on it. We're going to put this together with the back shell here. That's going to make out the back of it. These just fit together like that. And this is held together with 2 EP screws. And now that that's together, this is going to fit onto the rest of this unit. There's actually a slot here, and this tab is going to go right in it and be secured with 2 more EP screws. And I think that's going to be the last EP screw of an individual proton pack. Okay, so that's going to go together, look like that. Now we get started on some of these hoses. So I think I need this thicker, it is a spring. Oh yes, they gave me a spring. It's a coil bit. And that is going to fit into this little T-pipe section here. This is, it's tiny, it's hard to see, I'm sure. Little T, it has 2 open ends, one on the bottom and one on one side, and the other side is closed. So it's pretty easy to figure how this is going to go. So this pushes in, and to some extent you can use the way springs work to make this fit. You can sort of compress it, twist it, and get it in there. So this is going to go on the body of the Proton Pack up here at the top, like that. And that's going to be secured with an HP screw. And after I do that, we're going to wind this hose into another element on the Proton Pack. There is a little bit of keying on this piece so that it stays more or less rotated the way you want it. So once that is attached, it should look like that. And then we're going to bend this hose around and into the back of the proton pack itself. And again, we're just sort of pushing it in. So it's going to go like that. Next up, we are going to turn to the Neutrona wand, which has its own little spring end on it. So that's nice. The wand does have a hollow side. So the hollow gets filled in with a little piece here, which I think is just this guy. It's really just a fairly simple flat piece with a post on the back. So that ultimately is going to go on like that. There is both a screw hole and a little post that fit in. And that takes another HP screw. This almost feels like they just gave you a thing to put a screw in. That's kind of a hollow bit that we filled in. It didn't do anything. So not 100% sure why that was done, except maybe this will have something to do with how it all fits together on the gurney in the car. Next up, we have to take this tiny little piece, another very small piece with very small printing on it. This guy here also fits on the wand. I believe it just snaps in. So that just fits right up on the end there. I have to take a short black hose, not a medium black hose, because there's a medium one too, a short black hose, and fit it on the two posts here on the wand. So this is where we go to the tweezers, but not the sharp tweezers. A little bit of a wiggle, hopefully not squish it too much in the process. So that's it on the first end. Now I just got to loop it around and connect it to the bottom of the wand here. Okay, so it's going to look like that. Just makes a little loop there. We're going to do some more of this kind of little cable routing on the backpack itself. So we take a long red hose, which I have two. The long red hose goes on to a pin down here. Gonna try to widen this out a tiny bit with the tip of a spudger. That helps a lot. Okay, so we got that started. Now this routes up to, okay, the lower of two pins on the inside here. Thought I had it. Okay, that took a lot of effort, but there it is. So what's going on is there's two tiny little pins right in here, and you got to go to the one closer to the bottom of the pack, because another cable is going to route to the top one, and something else is going to route to this pin that sticks out further. Okay. Then take another long red hose. Okay. Nope, we're going to the black hose next. Next, fit the long black hose to the two pins near the top and middle of the proton pack. So this is going to go to the outer pin up here. So that starts up here, and it's going to go to that raised pin, kind of crossing over the red cable. Okay, so that one's going to go like that, crossing over. And then the other red cable is going to fill in the remaining two pins. And we will turn to another red and blue on the side. Okay, that one wasn't too bad. So there's our third one up here. We're gonna route some more around the sides of this. So we take a long blue hose, the only blue hose we've done so far, quite a bit longer than the others. This is going to start on the underside of the ion arm, and it's going to wrap over into a pin in here. So I think this actually goes on this center pin, so I'm still going to widen this up. I'm going to do that pin first, because it's in the middle of everything else. So that one goes on almost dead center here above the label. And this goes up and over the neutrino arm, no, the ion arm, and then does a full 180. I might regret that I did the other one first. It's not quite as cool looking as they make it look in the picture, but we'll live with it. So it goes like that, up, around, and to here. Two more short cables. And we start with the blue again. The blue is going to go towards the back. And we're just going to connect these pins to these pins, the blue on the bottom, red on the top. It does feel like these hoses are a little bit over long for the way they're routed, but that's what we're going to deal with. So that's the blue one down here at the bottom, and the red one's going to go above it, more or less the same way. And there we go. We got a cool two-tone red and blue with one black hose and a little springy bit. Next, we are going to attach the wand itself back to the backpack and then assemble the rear so that it all stays on. Hopefully we don't dislodge any of those cables that I just put so much effort into. Insert this into the small hole on the side of the pack. And look at how this back piece goes. Okay, it's gonna sandwich. That makes some sense. So that sandwiches together like this, so that it does dangle. There's one little bit of crimped off part of this spring. That's what's actually securing it. And this is going to be secured with more HP screws. Four total that go on the back, plus two more that are going to secure the pack frame. I'm trying to do all of this without separating any of these hoses, because I know from the engine block how much of a pain that would be. Okay, so the back is secured here. The last thing we gotta do is attach the frame. So the frame goes on with the flat part towards the bottom. Yeah, and there's a pin to locate. And that is the back. And I gotta say, we have basically a 1/8 scale pack here, right as it is. Not quite sure how this all sits together. I think it's going to be something like that. But, you know, we'll establish that once it's in the rack. But, yeah, I think that's pretty cool. Next week, we'll get into the ghost trap itself. I'm going to build these other proton packs later. But, yeah, all in all, I think that's a pretty neat little build. It's like its own separate scale model project. That was fun. If you like what you see, keep watching. Please do hit that subscribe button. You can also check out some other playlists I've got, other builds, other things going on. And have a good one, guys.